Stupid games win stupid prizes, I guess.
Play stupid games, pay me stupid money.
True.
Like, what security is Windows give? Does Windows give?
The security that you will maintain your
Yeah.
frustration.
What the? Firefox Mail 5th generation got the black spot. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Maggart from the iTunes Fanboy.
I'm Tabby Cat.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf.
And we are getting started with another episode of TIFP. And so, let's go ahead and let's hop into our first topic, which is that. So, for context, I don't know if you guys, this doesn't really show up that well on camera, but I've had this cyst, which is like a pimple that doesn't clear on my forehead for around half a year now. Actually, almost a year, but it didn't get really big until half a year ago. So as a result, I went to the doctor to go actually like get this thing off, and it's almost fully gone now. But as a result, when I was just for a simple little cyst on my forehead, it had, like, I'm on the doctor's iPad, it asked me so much information. Like, it asked me, like, first of all, it asked me like what gender my romantic preferences are, what else. So yeah, it asked me about my relationship or marriage history and all that.
You're
stuff,
like 16, almost 17. Why would you need to?
I'm 16. Now, granted, I understand there for some skin conditions, like they have to know that kind of stuff because of stuff that we definitely can't get into. There's some stuff they would need to know that stuff. However, that's like on adults most of the time, and even then.
Well, I guess that they probably
didn't have
save this info for later, so they're probably keeping it in your record so you don't have to put it in when you are 18
yeah, but
plus.
it's kind. Yeah, but the issue of that is like that they didn't necessarily need all this information just to start out just for a simple system. The thing that bothered me the most is not necessarily they asked me for that, but the problem is that I don't know if they're going to sell this information or not.
Yeah, it is a good.
I don't know, and like I don't want.
A good point.
Like I don't want this information just out, like in a,
Yeah.
Like I've hinted at what gender my romantic preferences are, but I don't necessarily like having that information out there on the dark web.
Yeah.
That's almost a good way to... I don't even want to say it because it's way too dark to talk about on this podcast, but that's like setting you up for something really bad.
Can you type that in the chat? Because I'm curious now.
Sadly, so am I. Well, it's not sad, actually, but... This episode has already gone too explicit, so...
If anyone just heard that, that was my air freshener in the background, but I think noise suppression cut that out.
Oh.
Every 15 minutes, every day.
So I just typed it in the Discord chat.
For what?
Oh yeah, that.
I could.
Yeah.
Or that's not necessarily what Alpha just typed is not necessarily even the main problem.
Definitely is a problem.
I mean, it is a key problem with this, but another big problem, the bigger problem that affects people more online is what about there's advertisements for this kind of what about advertisements for that kind of stuff? Like nowadays, like I'm trying not to make this explicit, but too like profane, but I now see all sorts of ads for romantic enhancement drugs like that.
Yeah.
That sort of
I
thing.
think we know what you mean.
Which they never used to advertise. Like I even see those advertised during NFL football games, that I'm like, dude, you guys know there's gonna be like 6 or 7-year-olds watching those games. Like, maybe be careful about what you're advertising there, and even I'm 16.
The problem is we're asking humanity to think.
How about we move on to another We think the problem is that the problem is that the majority of people have real intelligence and do think. However, the problem is that a small minority with artificial intelligence manages to ruin it for the rest of humanity.
Yeah. Speaking of artificial intelligence, I have an update on the Cybertruck story that I actually didn't publish in my video. Apparently, and the reason why I didn't publish it is because it's tech related. The media is now mad at AI. Apparently, the terrorist at the Cybertruck fire at the Trump Tower event, the terrorist used artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, to plan this out.
Oh, come on. Well, I think that AI definitely is not the greatest thing, but I don't think that AI is a terrorist. But that's just me. I feel like some people should.
Yeah.
Some people just need to think more. A lot more.
I didn't look too deep into it, but I looked as I was looking for an article explaining, the Cybertruck's responsible for the fire, because there were some that were out. Yeah, apparently those are gone now in favor of, oh my goodness, ChatGPT was used to plan this terrorist attack.
The thing about the Cybertruck causing it, that could be any EV. You know, you guys know I don't exactly like the Cybertruck, but I don't think that people should be singling it out. It could have very easily been.
It could be any vehicle, to be fair.
It could be an F-150. It could be one of those F-150 Lightnings.
Oh, it could be a supercar.
Yeah, it's literally just explosives put in the vehicle.
Oh, yeah, it could be anything. Especially with gas.
It could be a Bugatti.
It could be an old Volvo for all we would know. But, yeah.
So.
All right, shall we move on to my other topic that goes hand in hand with my first topic?
Sure.
So another thing that irritated me about this, having to give unnecessary data, is that. So as you guys know, if you watch this podcast, I am heading on a trip to Europe, England, and France. So obviously for that, I need a passport. So to apply for a passport, you need to get passport photos taken. So I went to my local Walgreens to get passport photos taken, because you can get photos taken there. And the one thing that irritated me is, mind you, this is just for physical copies, mind you. No digital copies, no nothing like that. They asked for my phone number. My phone number was not used for anything else other than me just giving it to them. Now, mind you, here's the issue. They also had my name.
Well, that's kind of for a passport. Yeah, they need it.
Was done.
I think they need contact info, right? In case you do something weird.
It was just for. No, it was just for my. No, it was just like. This wasn't for the application of my actual passport. This is just for the photo.
So this was, what, Walgreens wanted this, or the government wanted this information?
Yeah, Walgreens did.
I think Walgreens basically just makes you give your number up whenever you're doing anything that might require going through a third party, which I don't really like. But
yeah, I haven't given my phone number. I haven't had to give my phone number for anything else at Walgreens.
She's a Smurf number.
But yes, I apparently. Yeah, so I was thinking, but once again, because my phone number, I don't know what they're going to do with my phone number. They could easily sell it, and because
just
my name,
use a Smurf number. Like, if you can, use your house phone.
I've tried doing stuff like that before.
I don't have one.
I went to a gas station once, and for some dumb reason, it requests your zip code. So I just typed in 1234, because, why does a gas station need to know my zip code? It makes no sense. So I just typed in 1234. I think that's an actual zip code. Maybe it is, maybe it is not. I don't know. But I just typed in a random 5-digit number. And instantly my card was denied. My transaction was denied. I couldn't get gas. I had to type in the actual zip code related to my card. It's like, why do you need this? It's a credit card. Zip code is not related to your credit card. Other than billing address. But We have security pins on the
No,
card for
exact-
this reason.
And furthermore, like you could, and like again, once again, like you don't know what they're gonna do with this information, which again is why I've been thinking about getting Google Voice number just for things like that, because I have silence unknown callers on, and silence unknown text on, so I don't have to deal with like that actually disturbing me, but it's still just like, and I want random people having my phone number. Like you guys don't even have my phone number.
I'm not sure if that's entirely true.
I don't. I know you guys because I didn't have my phone number when we first started doing the show. I just had my email. I gave you guys my email address, but not my actual number.
My goodness, I have so many M's in my contacts. Yeah, there's a phone number right here.
Well, alright. Okay, you do have my number then. Okay, well, still, like most people don't, most people I know
Yeah.
online don't have my phone number. I guess just share that. Oh yeah, my phone number is tied to my iMessage. That's why. How come you guys both know it? Or at least Alpha don't know about Tabby.
I think I have it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know that
if I have
some
either of
number
you guys'
came
phone
up,
numbers.
but I don't know if that was Alpha's or yours. It was in an old group chat, so I kind of
SIM number.
disregarded it.
SIM
What?
number.
Yeah, let me check my contact information for.
I definitely have Alpha's number now, though. It came up a while ago.
Yeah.
I don't have Tabby's number. Let me go down to Alpha.
I think I've had my number in the group chat. with
Yeah.
both of you.
Let me see.
Yeah, you have.
Because generally, I don't really care if you guys
Yeah,
have my
well.
number or not. You guys aren't dangerous. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a million other people
have
that
Alpha's
I wouldn't give my
number.
number to.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But I feel like I would trust you guys. I would trust you guys a hell of a lot more than some random Twitter kid.
Yes.
Because my number actually did get leaked on
Yeah.
Twitter a little while ago.
Oh really?
Well, not a little while ago, a long while ago, in 2019.
Oh.
And I finished up with school. I looked at my phone, and I had like 6 random numbers texting me, right? Some of these guys were from out of the country.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, huh? So I look, and I respond to one. I'm like, yo, who is this? And I recognize one of the emails as some kid that I knew on Twitter. I'm like, yo, how do you get my number? And I'm not gonna name names here, but one of my at the time closest friends ended up leaking my number on Twitter. And he's like, oh yeah, so and so put it out, sent a screenshot.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, really? So I go, because me and this guy, we had a little bit of a problem at the time because he didn't like how I handled a sale on eBay.
He didn't just
'Cause I sold
dox you,
something
did
to
he?
him. Yeah, he said, he put my number out, and he put my Twitter handle in front of it, and he's like, this is, Tabby's number, go mess with him. And he called me an N-word. And I'm like, really, dude? So I text him. I'm like, dude, what the hell's your problem? And he's like, well, I was just mad, but it got reported, so I guess I can't do it anymore. I'm like, dude, don't do that again, and we're chill. And I'm like, I'm sitting there. I have all these new people's like contact information. I'm like, might as well talk to these guys, because I have my damn number now, so. And then I was getting, it just annoyed me. And then this dude, I still know him, right? Me and him have been on good terms for a long time now, but this dude is still somewhat known in the community. I don't think that you guys would know him, but that whole thing pissed me off because it literally,
I would have changed my number
who
if that
does
happened.
that? I almost did.
Did you change your number?
No.
Oh, you almost did.
Yeah,
I was close
if
to,
I
though.
recall, though, that doxing is technically illegal.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is, but
Yeah.
he was 12.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is
gosh.
technically. It is illegal.
I'm like, well, I had his number, had his address, had every bit of info that I needed to dox him, but I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Then then his parents might actually report you or something, and then not, and then well, I don't like. I know phone numbers are really really personal, but at least if phone numbers, I mean, sure they do know. I mean, if phone numbers now granted, they do sort of leak your general. They leak your general area just because
As
you
long-
know area codes.
You're over 18, it'll do
But
a
at
lot
least-
more.
But at least if phone numbers they can't physically go to, they oftentimes can't directly physically go to your house. But if your address, then you know, you're basically done.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't put my address out there too, because he had it, but that whole thing got me really annoyed with the
He
guy.
probably knew. He probably knew that he would get. He probably knew that you would permanently block him.
No, I
if
think
you
the
were to-
family would
if
press
you leaked
charges
your
or something
address.
I
for
think-
that, because once an address is leaked, things can get real dangerous real fast.
Oh yeah, and then honestly, I think that he knew because most of these kids were from Germany back then in the iOS kind of. I hate to call it a community because honestly, it was just a bunch of kids arguing about random stupid stuff, which phone is rarer, which person is dumber, you know. But he knew most of these kids were from like Germany and all these other, you know, kind of. No one's gonna go to my area, you know. Nobody. There was probably 3 people that we talked to that lived in the U.S. and all 3 of those people were on the other side of the country. So it's like, what are they gonna do? Fly out here to what? Knock on my door? What are they gonna do? Versus
Yeah, exactly. Because
having
whereas with me,
the German kids
because
text
whereas
me.
with me, like the majority of my, or what'd you just say?
He knew that the German kids would just text me all this, you know, stupid stuff, but the kids ended up just going on my side, being like, yeah, it's messed up. You know, I just wanted to show you.
Yeah, exactly. Because if my number got leaked, I wouldn't be. If my number got leaked, then I'd be. If my number got leaked, then I'd probably change it. But at least, but even if my address got leaked, then I would bother, like going through the whole process of pressing charges and whatnot. Just because, with my address, most of my viewers and like my community is from the U.S., so it'd be a lot. And like even you guys aren't that far away from me.
I mean, there's a chance that someone's going to be passing by your area if your address gets leaked. Hey, why don't I stop by Teddy's house? Say what's up. I know the 8-bit guy.
Yeah, exactly.
The 8-bit guy
I mean,
used to
I
do
don't
that kind of stuff. He used to just give people his address, and people would go into his studio. You know, they take photos, they talk about tech, and they'd leave. I think.
Exactly, because a big problem is that I don't live is that I live
You don't live in a remote area.
relatively close to an interstate, so
You definitely don't live in a remote
I'm
area.
not
I'd
even
say
higher
that.
risk. Yeah, I live in a remote area, but I'm still kind of close to an interstate, so don't.
I
yeah,
wouldn't
it'd be
call
bigger
that a
deal for
remote
me.
area. I'd probably describe the area I live as more remote.
Yeah, Alpha's area is definitely more remote, but there aren't that many like real remote areas in the southeast.
But I mean, yeah. Besides that, getting out of that annoying mess from coming up on 6 years ago, which
The previous decade.
so glad that I'm not in association with those guys anymore. What else do we have to talk about?
All right, so what impressed you guys the most out of CES 2025 so far?
So far, I haven't actually seen a lot from CES 25. What have they been doing?
I haven't seen a whole lot either, but there's one kind of joke that I've seen. There's a few things that have kind of caught my eye at CES. Like there was this one moisture sensor detector from. There's one moisture detector from I can't remember the name of the company, but uses a paper layer
Paper layer.
to instead a layer of paper so that way if a drop of water gets in the paper, then it'll detect that instead of batteries or anything like that. And I've also seen other stuff. Now I saw like Logitech has a solar powered keyboard that's entirely powered by solar or else USB-C.
Well, that's not new.
Without a battery, so it's super thin. Yeah, that's
My
not
dad
entirely
literally
new.
has a Logitech.
Well,
My
so
dad
that's
literally
CNC.
has a Logitech solar keyboard.
Yeah, it's not exactly the most new thing, but what else is there? Oh yeah, they now apparently have like a reverse cooling fan system for PCs, which is going to reverse the airflow, so that way it'll be supposedly won't clog up the fans quite as fast. But that's not the funniest thing I've seen from CES 2025.
Funny.
Do you want to get ready for this funny thing from CES 2025?
What is it?
So I'm guessing. So you guys both hate HP.
Very
printers,
much
right?
so.
I hate everything about HP.
I do too. But you want to know what that key solution is to HP's printers that they've been missing out
Literally
on until
everything.
now?
What?
No, one thing, Alpha. Just one thing that they've
AI.
been missing out on that's going to change the entire
Is
game.
it AI?
Yes. So, HP is introducing on HP's new printers this year. HP is coming out with AI print,
Yeah, they would do that, wouldn't
which
they?
the idea of smart with HP AI print is that you'll be able to. Yes, this is so groundbreaking. So you know when you print out web pages, it'll oftentimes like show the entire contents of a web page, like even if you're just printing out a recipe.
Yeah.
And all the idea is that now you'll be able to have HP AI print go ahead and summarize it for you, just like a normal AI client.
That's
So that you can get ready to print, because that's the biggest problem with HP's printers, is that they were lacking AI, and not that they had real artificial intelligence.
How is their printer division still in business? Because last I checked, like anyone I talked to in regards to just the printing with an HP printer, I know, weird thing to talk about. Nobody likes it. Nobody. Everyone hates it.
Yeah, my family has an HP printer that's now laser, so it's not quite as bad as their inkjet printers, but it's still not exactly the easiest thing in the world to use. And HP, and like the printer industry, look, we've gone into this before, but we need, like, Apple should seriously consider getting back in the printer business, because
They should.
I feel like Apple was not horrible at printers. I never really looked into their printers that much, but
to be fair, Apple hasn't made printers in such a long time.
Apple
so,
needs to get back into so many things.
like, by my long time, I'm talking like
Wi-Fi routers.
Like
Apple
1990.
needs to get back into routers.
Well, supposedly they're going to, sort of.
yes, we've gone to
I really cannot explain just how unbelievably bad modern routers are.
Yeah, they're terrible.
I have dealt with so many of these. At this point, I don't think that there's a single good router system out there. Honestly, I can't find one.
I hate the biggest reason why I hate
Yeah, my
networking
grandma's
is because
Linksys router, and
nothing
it's okay,
about it
but-
makes sense.
Nothing in networking works properly.
That too. Stupid IP addresses, MAC addresses, home addresses. What the heck do you need to function?
Yeah.
you should really just need one address. Maybe that's what tech companies need to be working on: simplifying networking and printing, and not artificial intelligence.
Networking makes sense if you know how it works. But if you don't know how it works, it's not making sense. You know, like if you know what you're doing and you know how everything in networking works, yeah, you're good. But if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how it works, you're not getting that
The
far.
only reason I've been able to successfully connect my server to my laptop purely is because Apple designed it and they made it simple. If I had just hand-built my own custom server and then trying to connect to that thing is going to be a real pain in the hindquarters.
Yep.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I haven't had the easiest time connecting my airport Extreme, but that's also because my mom's not exactly the most fond of connecting other airports connecting that airport into the house, which is why I haven't been able, which is one of the reasons why I haven't been able to do it. And also I just have largely not the time to deal with my airport router, especially now that I'm back in school.
Yeah.
Or I was just busy with other stuff at Christmas time and all that. But do you have anything more to say on CES 2025, or shall we get on to our next topic?
It's the next
Well,
topic.
I was going to say a few things about CES.
This is a scandal.
Oh, what's up?
Or you want to say
Yeah,
a few
there's-
things?
I'm not much interested in the tech that is displayed on there. I'm more interested in any EV stuff related because I guess electric vehicles are consumer electronics now, I guess. A bit odd. But Scout Motors, I don't know if you guys remember who they are, but they've decided to show off their vehicles, and I was actually quite impressed with something that is Volkswagen developed. Well, they'll tell you Volkswagen had no involvement in it, but Volkswagen is affiliated with it in some way. Tabby, you know how you complain so much about your ID4 software?
Yeah.
I need you to check out Kyle Connor's out of spec reviews video on the Scout, Terra, and Traveler. The software experience is completely different.
Is it worse?
No. First up, extremely snappy and
good?
smooth, and very intuitively laid out. In fact,
Oh, wow.
they designed it in such a way. The big thing that I'm excited that I saw, you know how some automakers are integrating these super wide screens that's kind of hard to reach either end of it?
Yeah, that stupid stuff.
So this vehicle has a wide screen, but they came up with a very interesting concept.
What's that?
So to say like input a destination, you can have the map is basically your home screen. To input a destination, if you're the driver, you swipe from the left and that pulls out your keyboard and your points of interest. But what if the passenger wants to input a destination? Do they have to reach all the way to the far left of the screen to swipe that out? No. They can swipe from the right side of the screen, and those same items are there closer to the passenger.
Oh, huh?
That's clever.
That is intuitive.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Is it fast or is
No,
it
it is fast. It
Yeah.
is actually like iPad levels fast.
Oh, wow. That
Yeah,
sounds good.
it's real impressive. I got to share you that video, but that was one of the number one things at CES that kind of impressed me, just seeing a Volkswagen Group product, the Scout Motors. This team, I don't know who's in charge of that team, but geez, did they put a big emphasis on software, and it rocks. Just, it's not complete yet, but what they had on display, it's awesome.
Oh, yeah. If they implement that into more Audi and stuff, products, that's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
hope
good.
they do.
Yeah, Audi's software has always been pretty good in my opinion. I'd say actually Audi has some of the top-notch software, but that's probably just because I'm biased. But honestly, I'd say if they can make that Volkswagen and that new Porsche interface a little bit better, even though a lot of people, the new Porsche interface, it's fast and all, but
It's really buggy.
it won't compare to like, oh, it is.
Well, I know another group of people that own a Macan EV, Dave and Kathy Connor. Those two have been having a lot of buggy software issues with their Macan.
Of course.
In fact, actually, they didn't have plug-and charge capability working out of the box, and the only way they can gain plug-and charge capability was to do a whole factory reset on the car. Yeah, it
Really?
was that bad.
Jeez.
And there's so many other weird software quirks to that needs to get flushed out.
There are some things that I just don't understand how Porsche manages to let go.
Yeah, I'd say the number one infuriating software-related thing, and it has nothing to do with the car, it actually has to do with the phone. It's the name of the app.
What
So, the app that's related to controlling the car is called My Porsche. So when you go to search for it on your phone,
Yeah.
you think, oh, it's Porsche, so let's go under P. Except you're not going to find it under P, it's under M because the app is called My Porsche.
Oh yeah, Audi does the same thing.
My Cars app does the same thing.
BMW does the same thing too.
Yeah, where's my phone?
I mean, I guess it makes. I don't use the app library, so it wouldn't really matter to me. And also, I would know to look for under M, but
Right at the bottom of M.
I mean, Tesla's app, to be fair, is T.
I don't know if it's... Come on, focus. There we go. You'd think this app would be under B, Buick, but it's not. It's under M. And that is infuriating when you're trying to search for it.
Yeah.
You'd think that'd be a detail Porsche would pay attention to, but whoops.
There's a lot of small annoyances that I could see.
So, yeah, there's... The Scout Motors was
Yeah, I could
the
see
one
that
thing
too.
that... Well, one of the two things that I was interested in seeing. And I heard there's another brand that I'm a little excited for, Aptera. They've put their cars on display. I haven't heard much of what is on display just yet, but...
Yeah.
Anywho, that's it. Mm-hmm.
That'll be pretty cool. Alright, shall I move on to Apple scandal?
Apple had a scandal.
Oh, gosh.
So, they've been Siri sometimes is always listening to for because of Hey Siri.
Yeah.
So because of this, and because of obvious privacy concerns, because Apple's not exactly as passionate about privacy as they claim, Apple has been sued for $95 million due listening to users since 2014. So they're paying back $20 to all the per device with Siri activated on.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm gonna get now. Granted, because my older devices were registered under my devices were before 2020 were registered under my mom's Apple ID. Therefore that means I won't get the
How do I
money
claim
for all
this?
my devices. But I'm gonna get now. Granted, I don't know if I can claim this because I'm a minor, but I might get a massive payday from Apple.
How do you claim this?
Yeah, how can I claim this?
Because it's like, how many Apple devices
Yeah,
do I have
actually-
that I've activated this feature on?
Think about it for me.
No, wait. Hey Siri. I don't know if it's Siri. But it's for Hey Siri. So if it's for Hey Siri, then it's gonna.
Well,
be
I've used it
then I'm
on
not
all of my
probably Not get
devices.
anything, but. No, if you had a Siri enabled device. $20 per device. So let me
One.
count how many my devices have Siri on them.
Those are active right now. Oh, 6.
Okay. Let's do the count. Okay, so technically 5 pairs of AirPods.
AirPods count?
Yeah, I think so. So let me do the counting. Start the counting. So 5 pairs of AirPods.
My goodness.
Seems like Apple's going to lose a lot of money on that.
So 17. Okay, let's see what else. So yeah.
How does one claim that money, though?
So let's move on to phones. So
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
2, 3.
I mean, yeah, it sucks for Apple, but I mean, if I'm getting paid from this lawsuit, I would like that.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, Apple. If they're doing stupid stuff, then
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, I guess.
play stupid games, pay me stupid money.
True.
I'm good with that.
7, 1, 2.
From...
I'm more than okay with that if they're actually paying this.
Let me see.
So I would technically, oh my gosh, I would get paid, so 51 times 20. So now granted, I don't know if this will include my really old devices with Siri, because Siri has a tendency not to exactly work on older iOS versions. But I'm looking at a payment of $1,020.
Pretty good.
So somehow we have to submit a claim.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, it's going to be available after a settlement is approved, so... Yep, still $1,020.
Wow.
Now, granted, most people don't collect quite as many devices as me, but... Again, I don't even know if I can claim the money technically because I'm a minor, but...
I know I can at least claim $120 minimum.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Not for Apple, but I mean, who doesn't like free money?
Yeah. Yeah, free money because Apple's been listening to us. But I mean, Apple shouldn't
that
be
is
listening to us, but
concerning.
you know. All right, do you have anything more? Do you have anything more to say about this, or shall I move on to another subject that also kind of relates to listening to us?
What might that be?
It involves a man who hates privacy.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Privacy.
All right, so now this is a little bit more of a political talk, but I just thought that I would mention this because these are very high-profile tech celebrities. Tim Cook and Mark Zuckerberg have, even though they apparently didn't want to before, they have now spent at least $1 million each on Trump's inauguration.
They're trying to gain good publicity. You know these people do not
States.
support him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like Mark Zuckerberg's weird rebrand, like he's just trying to change his look and get good publicity because Zuck.
Yeah, he can change his appearance all he wants. He can pay out all this money all he wants. His character still speaks much louder than his money and his appearance. And why is Tim Cook getting involved in this?
Even Tim Cook, to be honest, Mark Zuckerberg, his rebrand makes him look even more inhuman. But yeah, Tim Cook again, like why is he getting Apple involved in this thing, since companies don't need to spend any money on this inauguration thing at all, because it's just like when companies get political, then it makes you wonder, like, are they just trying to kiss up to the new administration? Or, well,
yeah, that's obviously what's going on here. But I mean,
the
like,
new
what's going on
administration.
with Tesla? So many people hate Tesla. You've all seen the stickers on the internet. I bought my Tesla before I knew Elon was crazy, which I even take trouble to that. But everybody hates Tesla because of the guy who runs it. Why? Because now he's so politically involved, and they don't like it.
Yeah, and he's going to be in Trump's cabinet.
And it angers me that Apple is getting politically involved. We've seen what happens when company gets
They've already
we've seen what
gotten
happens when
involved,
companies
just-
get politically involved. It's not good for anyone.
You know, remember, you guys know how Party City is going out is going basically bankrupt in the U.S., right? They're still going to remain operational in Canada, but not the U.S.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know how Party City went bankrupt? At least here in the U.S., not totally. It's because they spent a whole lot. It's because they went broke trying to get way too political.
Good way to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, just stop. It's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. But speaking of, shall we move on to another topic that also involves the evil nature of the Zuck.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, Meta has been intentionally rolling out fake accounts on their social platforms.
Yeah, they've done that for a while.
Yeah, they're now intentionally doing it though, which I'm like, dude.
Sounds like Facebook.
Yeah, and these people can also click on advertisements, which is a big problem for advertisers on Meta's platforms because now for those who don't know, advertisers on Meta's platforms, they have to pay every time somebody clicks. But the problem is that because these are fake accounts, they're obviously not going to be buying anything. So as a result, they're just costing Meta's users more money, or the advertisers more money.
I just hate everything about this.
The Alpha's reaction is accurate.
What good do they think this brings?
I don't know.
It just...
This is worse than the metaverse. Or do we need to bring up how bad the metaverse was? And oh yeah, by the way, we're not living in the metaverse and it's been 3 years.
Man, I hate being a tech enthusiast right now.
Metaverse was stupid.
AI this, BS that, why? For what?
To please investors that don't actually know anything about technology, or don't know much about it, but... Shall I move on to our next topic also involving Meta?
What about them?
The MetaQuest Pro is being discontinued.
Yeah, it's a stupid
because it was
product.
Like around $1,500.
It's a stupid product.
Yeah, exactly. People buy Meta's lower end headsets because they're cheaper, not because they're necessarily good.
It's just not a product
like
that I feel like a lot of
Mitsubishi's.
people want.
No. When do the words meta and quality come together?
I mean, they just really aren't known for quality. You know, it's not like you go and you're choosing between a Vision Pro and a Quest Pro, right? It's like you go to the store, you know what you're
No.
buying already. You're not gonna change your mind. And most people, honestly, are just gonna go out and buy an iPad.
Yeah. All right. Shall we go ahead? Do you have anything more to say about this, or shall we move on to our next topic involving Microsoft?
I don't have anything more to say.
All right, so Microsoft is terminating Windows 10 security updates this October.
Yeah.
They were initially going to do it apparently this January, but they apparently pushed it back to October.
Yeah. I heard about that.
I mean, does it even matter? Security updates
To be
or
honest, I don't
not?
know why anybody would use Windows at this point.
Windows 10's been broken since the beginning.
Also, are these even security? Can we even call these security updates?
What?
What security is Windows give? Does Windows give?
Basically
The
nothing.
security that you will maintain your
Yeah.
frustration.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the security that Microsoft gives you with their security updates. Not actual security that people want. It's security and frustration. That's Microsoft's biggest desire.
Yeah. Microsoft is probably one of my least favorite. I don't like Microsoft. I don't like anything they do. I don't think they have a.
Yeah, I
Good
saw this
products.
meme. I saw this meme on Twitter that, hang on, let me find it because this is really, really funny.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what category Microsoft is in. None of it is good. Their software, obviously, their operating system's terrible. Does anybody really use like Word or Excel anymore? Because I think everyone's just moved on to Google Docs and Sheets.
I think there's a good amount of people who still use Word and
Yeah.
whatnot.
I
Yeah,
at least
some
use
people
Excel,
do.
but I hardly ever touch Microsoft Word anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, their software is not desirable. Their hardware is even less desirable, despite how much they claim. I've always hated when they marketed their connectivity. It is the worst in the industry.
I don't get how Microsoft believes that they can. I don't get it. I don't get why Microsoft thinks that they're gonna be the next big thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this meme. Hang on,
It's frustrating. And the sad thing is, it's the most popular option chosen.
I saw another controversial topic. I saw another controversial thing about Mark Zuckerberg, but all right, that's not going to refresh. Okay, so the meme was basically it was like this. So basically, have you guys seen Father of the Bride by chance? It's a movie.
Nah.
So basically, in that movie, it's actually a really good movie, but in the movie, it's basically it's when this dad in his 50s and he has a daughter who's 22, and she comes back from She comes back from Rome with this American businessman who was 26, who was in independent communications networking because the movie was made back in the early 1990s, and the dad said that independent means is code for unemployed, and so as a result, the dad just got really frustrated and was not happy about the marriage, and it took him quite a lot convincing to let happen. But there was this meme basically when it was this girl bringing home her boyfriend or fiance for the first time, meet her dad, and the dad asked, "What do you do?" His future son-in-law, "What do you do?" And the young guy says, "I'm a developer at Microsoft." And the dad just starts laughing and says, "Get out of my house."
Yeah.
Because, Microsoft developers don't do anything. Now, that's a meme. That's a cartoon meme. It's not actually.
No, I'm pretty sure Microsoft employees don't do much.
They don't.
If they did, Windows would not be in the situation
Microsoft
it's
employees
in.
not doing much. That's actually true.
If Microsoft employees actually did something, then they wouldn't be in the situation they currently are.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, if Microsoft is still around by the time I'm old enough to have a daughter getting married, if my daughter comes home from a Microsoft employee, then I'm going to refuse to pay for the wedding. Because I know it's oftentimes tradition, at least sometimes a tradition for the bride's family to pay for the wedding.
In that case, it'll be cheaper on me and my family.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll be cheaper for me and my family, too, because the bride's family is oftentimes the one that pays for it, but it depends. It often depends, though.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a while before we get married anyway.
Enough Microsoft talk. What's next?
All right. So we talked about Honey, how they were a scam in our last episode.
Yeah.
And now they're officially being sued.
The Legal Eagle, who's a YouTuber, who's an actual lawyer as well, he is suing Honey. Yeah, Honey's being sued for scamming people, unsurprisingly.
What was that quote I just said? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Honey's PayPal is probably gonna have to pay quite a lot of money back, and I wonder what Elon Musk thinks about all this too, because he started PayPal, and PayPal owns Honey.
Well, I don't know if he cares that much because he's not.
But yeah, I watched
PayPal much anymore, but
yeah, he's not associated with it now. But like seeing a company that he started turn to that, like it might not please him the most to see that, but yeah, that's pretty good. But I watched Megalag's video on Honey, by the way, as well as his 3-part series on the scam of colorblind glasses.
Kind of makes me wonder, considering the massive financial damage done to customers, content creators that were sponsored by them. What do you think the total damage is going to be?
A lot.
How many figures?
PayPal may have to wind up 5 to 6, possibly 7.
Probably in the 10 million.
Maybe 8.
I'm guessing either 8 to 9 figures.
Yeah, because they're first of all gonna have to pay probably a massive fine. They're probably gonna throw some people in jail, but they're also gonna have to pay people back too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we thought Apple's...
So Apple might be getting paycheck.
We thought Apple's massive lawsuit, 95 million, we think that's massive. That doesn't even involve money. the reason why they're being sued doesn't involve
Yeah,
money.
that's gonna.
Honey,
their
on the
loss-
other hand, is being accused of stealing actual money.
Alpha's got quite a few. Alpha's getting quite the pay raise. For first, he got his raise at his actual job. Now he's getting a pretty good. Now he's probably gonna get a big beefy paycheck from Apple, and then once this lawsuit is all settled, which again depends because the U.S. legal system isn't the fastest. Alpha's got another probably a big. Depends on how often Alpha used Honey. He's probably got a big
Goodness
check coming his
gracious.
way. And I think my dad used Honey too, so he's probably got a big check coming his way too. Well, and also he's probably got a check from Apple coming his way too.
I'm so overwhelmed with my financial situation at the moment. In fact, I didn't tell anyone this yet, but I got a letter from my credit card Discover. As of right now, I currently have perfect credit history. I've always paid off the credit cards on time, usually early. And so, because of
Wow.
that, and they're so impressed with my credit history, they're telling me that supposedly I can take up to a $40,000 loan with an interest rate of only 5%.
Oh, wow.
That's are you gonna decide what to do with that loan, or if are you gonna accept that?
The crazy thing is, do you know what costs just under $40,000?
Model 3.
Oh, you just gotta pay off your car first, and then.
I hate how tempting that is right now. I really do.
To be fair though, maybe once you get Stardust paid off, then or your 2019 Beautiful Cross. Once you get that paid off, then you'll be able to get, if you keep up your perfect credit, you'll be able to take out an even
That's
bigger
what I'm kind of
loan.
hoping. Though also Tesla's still offering an even better interest rate as well compared to Discover. And that's because Tesla's so desperate to
Yeah.
get their cars out right now. Though I have other ideas as of why their cars are selling. Maybe it's Elon related, perhaps, but still.
And also, again, you know, EV battery
Oh, that's
fire
been dying.
conspiracy theories.
But still, it's just I hate all
Well,
of this
just general hatred towards
temptation right
EVs
now
and
because
beyond.
oh my gosh, you guys know how bad I want one.
Is there any way you could possibly sell? Is there any way you could possibly sell your current lacrosse and then use the money and then get the money from that and then and then so that way you wouldn't have to, and then pay off the rest of your lacrosse and then get the
Well,
Tesla.
a third of the
Or wait a second, you can't get a
well,
Tesla. Never
a
mind.
third of Stardust
Because you're
has
still
been paid
living at
off right
home.
now. So if I were to sell it today, I'd probably pretty much break even. So I wouldn't have much money left over.
Oh right, because your car's
Well, yeah, the car's
depreciated.
depreciated because I put like, goodness gracious, almost like 20,000 miles on that car already. So yeah, I put like 20,000 miles on the car already. Plus, well, it's a few years older. Sedans are low in demand, and also I feel like I overpaid for that car from the start, but I'm sure I could at least sell it for market value, and that is enough to pay off the loan. But then that means I have no money for a down payment on another
You're-
car.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, you need a down payment.
I thought you weren't gonna be able to have your car in your driveway.
Yeah, that's another
Get an
another
all EV.
problem.
That's the other thing I was saying.
Yeah, that's another problem. It's just the opportunity. It's just
Oh.
really ripping my mind apart right now.
Well, maybe you should just focus all your finances right now towards being able to, leave the nest finally, and then afterwards
Yeah.
figure out a car. Because I mean, even though it's a gas car, like even though it's a hybrid, it's still not a bad car.
My buddy Talon, he really hates how much I'm spending on my car right now. And it's because the gas bill difference. He's paying like $100 for a tank of gas in his truck. Meanwhile, I'm like $20.
I pay $40 to fill up my car, and I usually fill up every 2 weeks. But my dad pays an average of around, I would say, $70 to $80 to fill up his M6, and that's now granted. Both of our cars, me and my dad, our cars both take premium.
Oh right, because they're a Mercedes and a BMW.
They require premium, actually. Yeah, German cars typically require premium, which I love. Which again, I did not pick my car, so.
Yep, the benefits of unleaded gasoline.
Well, technically, premium is unleaded too, but unleaded is just generally unleaded is just a term that refers to because gas used to have lead in it before they realized that
right.
lead is very toxic.
It's lower octane level. That's what it is.
Yeah, but did you know that? Interestingly enough, a lot of time because the only solder metal that actually works has lead in it. So as a result, some cables have lead warnings.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh yeah, alpha scene soldering. Yeah, I learned that by watching VOS Live. Who's actually one of my favorite creators on YouTube right now.
Heard of them.
Just because he does no sponsors, which is very nice.
Yeah, I've heard of that guy.
And yeah, VOS Live is probably one of the oldest, if not the oldest, tech YouTube channel that's still active today.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Well, he doesn't really post stuff that's relevant to this podcast, though.
What?
Or VOS Live. Generally, what VOS Live does videos on is more analog era technology. So he does a lot of videos on cassette tapes, CDs, very vintage computers, and television.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'm still my brain is in such a agitated state right now when it comes to finances, because I hate that I have the opportunity, but I know now is not the time to pull the trigger. Which, you know how bad I want to pull that trigger.
Alright, shall I move on to our next topic now about Volkswagen breaching data?
Yeah.
So on their EVs, Volkswagen has breached the data with location and battery temperatures of over 800,000 EV drivers.
That's not good, is it?
Known, which is how I say known is how I say no in French.
Why does anyone want to know their battery temperature? I mean, like anyone aside from the owner of the car.
Maybe for
what good does that do to outsiders?
Exactly. I don't know, and like car companies selling data is actually, again, so with selling data, which is apparently the end of this episode, selling data, like car companies are really getting.
They've been doing that for
data.
years. My car is extremely guilty of it. It's probably why my insurance rate is so freaking high.
Yeah, there was this one toy. Yeah, that should actually be illegal for car companies to sell user data, because the problem is that they make it so hard to see and agree to in the terms and conditions. And there's one time when this guy's guy in a Toyota Prius, his car caught fire, and they refused to cover the damage under warranty, because even though his car was brand new, because his car at one point exceed 85 miles
To be
per
more
hour.
clear,
What if that guy
no,
was on Texas Highway 130 where the speed limit
on.
is 80?
It wasn't a
on that stretch of
Prius.
Texas.
It was a Toyota performance car. It was a Corolla GR. I've seen the story.
Well, the
And the reason
GR,
why it
again,
exceeded
what if
85 miles an hour was because
Yeah,
he took
that
it
was
on the
unwholesome.
track. Something Toyota advertised it can do.
Yeah, that's even. He took it out on the track and then they refused to deny him.
So, yeah, that's... It's not okay that they're doing that, and a lot of people in the legal business, I've heard that they're finally jumping on this issue where there's almost no privacy policies that protect consumers when it comes to buying cars, because once upon a time, cars used to not have any computers to control anything. They didn't have all of these fancy cameras and microphones for Bluetooth phone control and such. They didn't have all of this stuff, but now they do. And it's taken so long for people to realize, hey, because they have all this stuff, automakers can harvest this data. And on one aspect, there are some good reasons to do it. Be it helping diagnose problems, because if there's one thing we learned about gas cars, my goodness, is there a gazillion ways for those things to go wrong. And so, yeah, logging that data is helpful in trying to get the car repaired, but the problem is there are side effects that for the longest time, privacy policymakers have just completely ignored it. And so I keep hearing that lawmakers are finally going to start getting on the 8 ball and jumping on this. Because I think the most offensive one right now, the most offensive tracking thing that so far nobody has sued them for it, Nissan. I don't understand why, but even in their privacy policy, it is listed that when you buy the car, you're giving Nissan consent to see your, I'm going to abbreviate it for this reason, sexual activity.
Yeah.
Why would a car need to... How could they possibly know that? How could a car
Exactly.
possibly...
Why does an automaker need to know this?
Furthermore, how could a person log that?
If I had to
in
guess,
their
maybe
car?
interior cameras and microphones are picking up, well, we're not going into what, but I have a feeling that might be how they're tracking it. Still, they should have
And
no
also, like,
right,
maybe they could get text.
no
maybe they
right
could
to
get
even
text.
know that stuff.
No. And also, maybe they could like look at text from people's
Right, because you can
phones
connect
and
your
figure that out,
phones
too.
to the cars and have them read it. That's another reason why I like CarPlay, by the way. Because all CarPlay is just a projector. It's just like a standalone monitor on your desk. That's all it is.
Yeah, and further, yeah, and I mean, yeah, because a lot of people oftentimes will like put like with their romantic partners, like they'll put like even some of my friends do this with their girlfriends, that they put a heart in their contact information, and a lot of times, like especially like if it can see the wallpaper, read the wallpaper somehow, like a lot of times, like guys will put their girlfriends as their wallpapers.
It's still just the fact that these privacy policies are so bad. A lot of people hate it when the government gets involved to regulate things, but this is one where I'm sorry, it needs to happen because it is out of control right now.
Yeah. To be honest, no company should have the right to read that kind of information, but shall I move on to our next topic now, which is really which I'm not sure if we should get into that since this won't be relevant by the time it comes out, or this episode comes out.
Is it the iPhone one?
Yes, so
iPhone is officially 18 years.
it's an adult, and I actually don't. It was announced 18 years ago anyway. Its birthday is until June 29th, but arranged from a shelf, by the way. But yep, I have 3 of these. 2 of them run firmware 1.0. My other one used to, but I since updated because it has broken buttons. I can't get into TIFP mode. Downgrade
And yet we
back.
still wonder how the heck we're supposed to talk about new iPhones. Because
What the? My iPod now 5th generation got the black spot. Oh my. The screen I think is totally cooked. No. I love this iPod.
oh dear.
At this point I think this iPod is basically... Yeah, I don't think this iPod is ever going to come back. My 2nd generation is still okay, luckily. Well, I'm obviously going to have to... We're obviously going to have to hold a funeral for this iPod now. I got this, what's so hard for me about... I know this is kind of off topic, but what's so hard for me to deal with this iPod getting the black spot is I actually got this iPod back in October of 2020, so I've had this iPod now 5th generation for so long. Because the devices that I've had for such a long time, it's easy to get
That's the one with the
to.
camera, right?
Yeah, too. That too. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but
The camera's too fuzzy on my end.
there's no way. Or like, can you see like?
No, the res is
Anything
too bad on
abnormal?
my end, and it's just because of my internet connection.
Yeah, like, can you see now if I show like how the screen is popping?
Oh yeah, that screen's popped out.
Yeah, this thing is not coming back.
Oh dear.
I'll have to make a social media post about this and then toss it.
You're gonna recycle it?
I don't know where I doubt I get to. I don't know if there's any recycling centers near me that my parents could let me go to,
You
and
should just sell it.
I'm about to get a snowstorm,
Just
so
send it to Apple.
Or you should just keep
I'm
it.
about to be snowed in for a day or so.
No, honestly, what you should do just keep it discharged in your box. Battery won't. It'll be fine if it's discharged.
This doesn't. This thing is. I don't want this. This thing is gonna just keep damaging itself, and it's just gonna take up space in my collection, and I don't like stuff that takes up unnecessary space. Yes, believe it or not, I don't like stuff that takes up unnecessary space. This already had a tiny little bit of a black spot back in 2020 when I got it. But it was like very tiny. I just thought that was screen burning, and it never got bigger until now, but...
Oh well.
Alright, do you have anything more to say about the iPhone 2G turning 18? Or shall I move on to our next actual topic?
No, it's the next topic.
Alright, so... I'm just copying and pasting topics, but... The ThinkPad X9, which is the next generation of the ThinkPad, is going to, yes... It's going to be metallic silver and not have the red track point that ThinkPads are known for. Because I'll never have the ThinkPad that I suffered
Basically not ThinkPad at that
from
point.
using back in 7th grade.
I'm not sure if I ever liked that thing
Doesn't
though.
sound like a ThinkPad.
Yeah, I didn't like it either, but
I mean, I can understand why some people would like it, but
I'm gonna have to do a whole. It's just one of the classic iconic design traits of a ThinkPad, but this is it right here. But Apple, or no, Lenovo is going to remove it in the next generation of the ThinkPad.
and that is now one less reason for everyone to buy a Lenovo laptop.
Oh, and did I forget? Oh, and it's also going to be metallic silver, which doesn't that remind you of a certain other brand? One that we talk about all the time on this podcast.
This one,
Exactly, and even the Dell XPS, like it's just like Lenovo is trying to rip off Apple.
get-
Which you wonder why. It's maybe because Lenovo is based in China, so as it was in Chinese law. Yes, Chinese law does not recognize Western Hemisphere copyright, only Eastern Hemisphere copyright.
let's make another Apple clone.
So that's why so many Chinese companies are pirate firm.
It drives me nuts because it just drives me nuts when everyone just completely rips off Apple's designs. Because on one hand, sure, Apple's made some pretty great design products, but there are some that are not so great. Like, I'm not really a big fan of this design of the MacBook Pro, if I'm being honest. There are many elements of the Dell XPS that it's a very unique design that I appreciated, like the rubber palm rests. I prefer resting my hands on a rubber material.
But at the same time, it kind of looks like a MacBook
Sort
from the
of.
outside.
But they've changed enough things to the point where no, you can't mistake an Apple laptop for a Dell laptop. Like, you could not mistake my XPS for a MacBook.
You can mistake a Samsung for a OnePlus,
Yes, you absolutely
though.
In fact, you can mistake any other Android phone for any other Android phone. Because, well, now it's just, let's make an Apple
Yeah.
knockoff. That's all it's become.
And no wonder why real iPhones
Yeah,
are becoming
it's
so
like
popular.
People want the real thing, not a fake version of it.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so do we have anything more to say about that, or shall I move on to our next topic? Involving Dell,
Yeah,
actually.
speaking of Dell, I'm reading this, and this shouldn't be a rumor because this is actually going to happen.
I wasn't sure if they were... Okay, so this is actually going to happen, but I'll move this to crucial topics. Command X. Dell is rolling out a rebrand, so they're going to get rid of the Vostro and the XPS and all their other iconic computer lines. And they're going to have, get this is very original titling, people. Maybe please have a drum roll for how original this is. Dell Pro, and Dell Pro Max.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
So, Pro Max, I don't even like how Apple does that. Like, say nothing about Dell ripping Apple
Enough
off.
people already complain about how they hate Apple's marketing for the Pro Max iPhones.
Dell Pro Max.
So original, am I right?
Yeah, it's so.
Oh, but wait, that's not even...
original.
It gets even more complex. You should watch LTT's video about this. That's how I knew this is getting confirmed. Apparently, we have 3 different variants of the Dell Pro and Dell Pro Max. We have, I think
Oh
it's
my
a base, a Plus, and a premium version of all of these. Oh, and then we got to get into the screen size mess.
Does this affect just their laptops or their desktops too?
I wouldn't be shocked if this also came to their desktops as well.
I saw something somewhere about them doing this with the Optiplex, and that's a desktop, so I guess both.
Yeah, because the big problem is that Dell's product lines like the Vostro and the Optiplex and all these have been iconic brand names, and what Dell sales might be down, but it's not necessarily because of Dell, but rather because they keep using Windows and.
Well, what
I don't know if
what
you
else?
know this
Well, they
about
also
Windows.
keep using Windows and Intel.
Microsoft has
I'm
an option.
surprised how bad Dell is at offering AMD options. And we know, especially in the laptop space, I mean, Apple Silicon obviously makes the most sense, but that's proprietary to Apple. So if you're not Apple, then the best option to choose right now really is AMD, not Intel. So, yeah, a lot of this rebrand
AMD
is
is
totally
pretty
going to
good.
confuse people. Like, the way I thought of Dell, especially in their laptop line, the Latitude and the Vostro, those are the cheap machines just for word processing. You want something a little higher end, but not...
Well, I thought the Vostro was supposed to be a work computer.
Yeah, it's a more business-oriented version
Relatively.
of
It
it.
is.
So you need a cheap computer to do word processing, be it business or home use. You get the Latitude and the Vostro. You want something a little nicer, but doesn't completely break the bank. Well, then there's the Inspiron line. And then finally, if you actually do need a high-end computer, there's the XPS, which is more suited for home use, and then their Precision line, which offers a lot of custom solutions for super high-end tasks. Made perfect sense to me.
Or what was the one meant for super high-end tasks?
So technically there's two laptops that fit it. One's more for consumer use, the XPS, which is what I have. Though, honestly, a better suit for what I'm doing, I'd probably be better off with Precision, which is what my boss uses. Though, to be honest, they really are the same laptop, just slightly different hardware configurations. But yeah, there's the XPS and the Precision line. So yeah, if you know your Dell laptops...
Yeah, I was too busy playing with my iPod screen coming off, so as a result.
But yeah, if you know you're looking for a Dell laptop, their lineup was not hard to understand in the first place.
And it's been around for like at least 2 decades, so that also helps.
And I'm still trying to figure out, like, okay,
Interestingly enough,
a basic quadrant. I love Steve Jobs' concept of a basic quadrant. A basic quadrant that I think could have helped Microsoft a lot
So do
is
I.
we have low end, like cheap materials, cheap performance, and then as we work our way up to two different categories. We either have a higher end, nicer consumer grade laptop, but maybe with not as great performance. And then we have a higher end performance laptop, but with cheaper materials to help keep the cost down. And then we have the ultimate high-end, nice materials, nice performance. That's a simple quadrant, right? Except we have not 4 boxes, 4 different categories. No, we don't have that. We have 9 different spaces. How the heck are you supposed to know where you fall in one of these 9 spaces?
Like with Dell's
Their new
lineup
one.
or their old one. Or no, wait, their new one.
I'm trying to pretend.
Oh my, I know, right?
I'm
That's
trying
way
to
too
pretend
niche.
that I'm shopping for a Dell laptop right now with this new lineup. I know that I need something on the higher end because what I do, CAD, it requires GPU power, which means I need performance. What I'm trying to figure out is what the heck is the difference between the Pro and the Pro Max? Because apparently their new way of categorizing performance, that's Dell, Dell Pro, and Dell Pro Max. I can't figure out if I'm supposed to fall under Pro or Pro Max. And Dell doesn't make it any easier. Yeah,
And you're a tech enthusiast.
and I currently am a Dell customer. I own a Dell laptop. And I can't figure this out. So I don't know how high-end of a machine I need now because of this new branding thing. At least I don't remember what they call the base for in terms of like the premium, nice materials, nice feature set aside from performance. I don't remember what they call that. I can at least figure out where I rank on that at least. But it's the performance thing that I'm confused about. It doesn't make sense. It's either you need a computer for lighter duty tasks or you need a computer for high performance, high performance demands. Whatever. I can't English right now because I'm this frustrated. Where is this middle ground? Who falls into that?
I'm even kind of lost in this conversation.
That's how much sense this makes.
Because that's how confusing
it doesn't.
App is. You know what? Oh, I know. I remember what Dell started doing. They started using because they're on the AI artificial intelligence train. As a result, that's part of it. Because their AI designed that new lineup. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if it actually did.
You know, I want to do a challenge on the show right now. Like, is this on their website at least?
Let me go to
I want a challenge for all three of us. We have to pick out a Dell laptop for ourselves to use, like, say, because we're all in the YouTube space. I'm in a different... I have a Dell laptop for different reasons, but let's say we're using these for video editing machines. We have to pick out the most appropriate one, factoring in price. Because...
So what, would I just like go off of what my MacBook was when it was
Effectively.
new? And if I was to buy a Dell instead of a MacBook?
Effectively,
Okay,
yeah.
that's pretty simple.
Computers,
Okay, let me go.
laptops.
Let me go. Okay, so
Does anyone know if Dell
Pro.
has this on their website? Because I have this, I have this, but that's...
I see view all laptops, Dell Pro laptops.
Oh wait, they already put this out into effect?
I'm looking on their website right now. They're still in the
so
process
let
of
me
rolling
see.
it out.
Yes, Copilot Plus piece.
Oh, I see it actually.
Oh, this Dell Pro 60 Plus laptop looks like a Unibot. It looks like a Retina MacBook Pro. It looks like an old MacBook Air, for goodness sake.
I can't X out of the little email pop-up that they put up. Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
it's annoying.
Oh my, this looks so much like an old
Absolutely hate when
MacBook Air.
websites ask for an email. It should be banned
So
by
do
the
I. Oh my.
FCC for websites to do that because they just sign you up for spam mail.
Oh, I know.
And then
Are
the
these
apps
all,
that
like-
ask you to rate it even when you have that setting turned off in the App Store.
Okay, I know that Intel basically fixed their Arc GPU or so they say, but I'm looking for like NVIDIA because I know I'd want NVIDIA's CUDA cores for video editing.
All right, so this is. It looks exactly like one of these MacBook Airs. And I'm looking at the Dell Pro 16, but I want to make sure this is actually something that would be appropriate
Okay,
for
that's
me.
OS. Do you have?
Because yes, mark that
What
message.
the hell's an Intel Ultra 7?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think it's like the i7.
Oh, it's their AI
Okay.
version of their core set.
It's just stupid.
Okay, what else?
really
Do you
is
understand why being a tech enthusiast right now is so painful, everyone? This is why we have to put up with BS like this.
Okay, what?
Okay.
Oh, fingerprint reader. Yes, please.
All right, so I know I need the 16-inch display because that's how we do things around here. You go big or you go home. Oh, and there's only one option. Nice.
No.
Customize.
No. Yeah, there's only one option. Yeah. Okay, what's the GPU?
Oh, that's so dirty. So, it says up to Intel Core Ultra 7.
Oh, yeah, they do
but
that.
It starts with the 5. Really?
Windows 11 Pro and...
Okay, that just...
No, I don't want
That
Copilot.
is so stupid. Does the 16 Pro
This only
Plus
does
do the
this
same
only
thing?
does integrate
What's
graphics.
this warning thing? Please change your selection.
Which, to be honest, my only.
I don't want
it's one of those
Copilot!
Stupid flip around ones.
Okay, this is $1,957.49 for a new Dell Pro 16 Plus laptop with Intel Core
They're
Ultra
not even
7,
offering NVIDIA?
268V Pro, 12 megabyte cache. No NVIDIA. No NVIDIA. Why would they need
I
NVIDIA?
need a terabyte. I know that.
Oh, and Dell's a virtual assistant on their website.
Why are they selling basically two of the same... Why are they selling two very, very similar processors? Oh, I do not want this flip around garbage. How do I... I really hate those flip around computers.
Yeah.
So much. Alright.
You hate flip around computers.
Ooh,
huh?
yep, I need 120 hertz.
Hate them.
Give me 120 hertz.
I hate them too, but hang on, let me. You can customize a display.
Yeah.
My whole Chromebook.
Apparently, they give you a keyboard backlight delete as well.
You can delete the keyboard backlight. Who? I can't.
I was gonna say, who would delete that? That's so useful at night. Mobile
And in the dark
broadband
too,
with,
but yeah.
I guess it's a battery thing. But I guess, wouldn't you be able to, like, turn it off?
Yeah, you can.
What
Yeah,
the
I can
hell,
turn it off on my
crouch-
XPS.
Crouch?
Oh, 120 hertz. Yeah, I want 100.
This.
So...
Oh, it offers cellular. I don't want that.
23.28 for what I just made.
$2,077. Oh my gosh!
Hours? What?
This can't even edit because my runs Windows.
Where's my 100 watt hour battery?
What?
Dude, this sucks. No fingerprint.
So the configuration...
Yeah, you can decrease the.
The configuration that I just
Oh
did
my god.
is the Pro 14 Premium, because this is the only one that made sense, because I'm not doing a flip around style computer. Ultra 7 266 V Pro with Windows 11, 16 gigabytes of DDR5, and 1 terabyte M2. I did not have the option to do 120 hertz display. So this computer is already, I believe, more expensive than mine, if not the same price as mine, and it has a much worse screen. I got the
Oh my
fingerprint reader.
gosh. They're actually advertising CrowdStrike.
I had to go up to $2,267.04 just to get Copilot Plus PC and 32 gigabytes of RAM, which I don't even need that much RAM for right now.
Why are you advertising CrowdStrike right
on
now?
my current Mac.
Why are the bezels so thick on these? And what even is
let me see if I
CrowdStrike?
can get rid of that.
You remember the whole Windows taking out
remember
a
that
bunch of
CrowdStrike
computers?
Oh,
That was
yeah.
because of CrowdStrike.
Wait,
No,
what?
I got rid of Crowds.
hold on. Why does this computer...
Because CrowdStrike released an update that that bricked Windows.
This computer looks like those old, cheap aluminum HPs from, like, 2017. 2013 actually.
Exactly.
It
It
looks
like those too.
it looks good from the front angle, but it looks so bad from a top down. Why they're going back?
It looks outdated. This is a $2,000 over $2,000 laptop.
Wow, I have to
outdated.
agree with that in terms of the looks.
Isn't this is so stupid. So I'm currently working on this 16-inch one because it looks like the 16-inch one is really the only option that you have if you want to get a decent computer.
Even then, I'm looking at it right now. I'm not a fan of it.
Never mind.
So the 16-inch looks to be cheaper than the 14-inch.
That's odd.
Why?
That's backwards.
Because I've always, liked the 14-inch computers. I just like having a little bit extra portability, because I have the Mac Studio whenever I'm doing, work that I need a big screen for, like I'm on it right now. But why does... Yeah, the 14-inch one starts at $1,900 essentially. 16-inch one's $1,700. And it looks like the specs are the same. Little bit, oh yeah, half the battery on the 16-inch one, but who cares? Well, I'm sure you're not getting 21 hours of
No,
battery.
that's impossible.
You're probably getting like 4, maybe 21.
In sleep mode, it's possible, maybe,
Because
but
they turn
not.
the computer off
No.
in sleep mode after like an hour of idling. They put it in hibernation mode.
Oh, you wish. That's not how Windows Standby works anymore.
I hated when it used to turn off overnight. It did that on the ROG Ally.
Well, you know how Windows Standby works right now? Apparently, if you leave it plugged in, you put your laptop to sleep, and you unplug it, the laptop still assumes it's plugged in, and what it does is it functions exactly like a desktop, and when it's functioning like a desktop, it's checking for updates, because of course, why wouldn't it? It's Windows. It needs to update all the time for no reason. And it resulted in a lot of people, I was affected by this too, by the way. A lot of people wake up in the morning to a hot and dead laptop.
Yeah.
Because it's not sleeping properly. And it is still an issue.
Stuff like this is why I'm looking into buying an M5 MacBook Pro instead of going to Windows, and I don't think I'll ever look back on buying a MacBook Pro.
I can't either.
My MacBook Pro has lasted longer than any Windows laptop I've ever owned.
Yeah. Anyway, I finally finished my configuration, at least to the best of my abilities on speccing it. Processor, Intel Core Ultra 7, because they don't offer an i7 anymore, I guess.
I think that's just the direct replacement to the i7.
Perhaps, I don't know. Windows 11 Pro, because they don't have Windows 11 Home or whatever. Wait, hold on. This is integrated graphics?
Yeah.
They don't offer dedicated graphics.
So I need a higher-end laptop than this. Because I know if I'm video editing on
They
PC...
don't sell that,
So do I. This is already a $2,000
If I'm editing
laptop.
on a PC, then I need a dedicated GPU for this. I'm sorry. And I thought this is Pro. Anywho, the total price of this comes to over $2,000. You'd think this should be high-end enough to do video editing, right? But it doesn't even have a dedicated GPU.
This looks like a computer that would start at like Inspiron prices, like 500 to 700, not 1,000 on top of that.
Welcome to my world.
They're out of their minds.
Yeah, and you think with this price, you think, wow, this has to be a high-end laptop. This should be capable to do what I need it to do. It's not.
Apparently not.
No dedicated GPU.
No, look, I'm
this
sure
is not
that
for video
Intel
editing.
Arc is good.
And I know I can get a good.
I'm sure that Arc is good, but like
It's not that good.
Well, I mean, I mean, technically, Arc is considered more dedicated now than Intel HD was, and Arc is the replacement to. Well, Arc is basically Intel's competitor to like NVIDIA GeForce.
Yeah.
But I don't think that numbers have proven it as well as you'd hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's in terms of the
I
big
was
three GPU
considering
makers
going
right
for
now,
an
the
Arc
big
build.
three being NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel. Intel is at the bottom for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wow. And if I didn't know tech and I didn't know computers, I think over $2,000, that should be a pretty decent editing rig, right?
And inflation is not that bad. Or it's not
Yeah,
that
this is-
bad. Because, I mean, you can even get MacBooks for the same price that can edit video.
Dell's got a big mess on their hands. This was not necessary. This is only going to lead to more consumer confusion.
They truly are. And as a result, decreased Dell sales. But shall we move on to our final
Sure.
topic?
So,
So Nintendo Switch 2 has had some rumors, and it's rumored to have 12 gigabytes of RAM and magnetically attached Joy-Cons.
really cool.
I don't know if magnetically attached is a good
I'm not a
idea
gamer, but that's
because
not bad.
if you know anything about gamer rage, I have a feeling that those magnets would break away easily.
Oh, you're right.
So
Oh,
I hope they don't
yeah.
go through with that because I have a pretty good feeling it's going to be just slightly
you-
too easy for them to come loose, and then we get potential broken products or, well, just not good situations in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. If they ever bring the Wii back, then I'd be more excited, but because they've still shown no interest in making something like that ever again.
Yeah.
They probably like the Switch line because it combines both their home and portable console.
I mean, I can see that.
lines.
But
So they
still,
probably find it
like
easier.
their Joy-Con remotes or whatever, not the same thing as a Wii remote. And yes, I've played with the Switch before. Just it's not the same. I want the Wii back.
I understand.
If anything, the Joy-Cons are way more clunky to use, in my opinion. I don't even like that they're off. The joysticks and the control buttons are offset.
Yeah, they look small and at the same time a little bit chunky, which is not my.
I mean, I understand why they
style.
do it. It's so that way when you are doing multiplayer with the Joy-Cons, it's that way the controllers are symmetric. You don't have to worry about button placement and such, but still, that's I don't know. I just want the Wii back.
I'm gonna
I
buy the
understand,
Switch 2
but
when
in
it
other
comes
news,
out. I'm gonna buy the Switch 2 when it comes out.
I figured you probably would because Tabby likes Nintendo.
I thought about
products.
getting my sister a Switch because she's the gamer of the house and she's kind of fallen in love with the Switch, and she also likes, oh wait, we can play updated games, and wait, people actually make games for this, because there really aren't that many new games that come out for Wii anymore, if I'm being honest.
I think the last Wii game came out a while ago.
In 2020, I think. With some sort of variant of Just Dance.
Yeah,
Which you actually used to play sometimes at my elementary school because they had Wii's there.
that's cool.
I didn't know school would hold...
Yeah, like gym class.
I didn't know schools would have gaming consoles or anything.
So basically, let me explain the context of this. So back when I was in kindergarten, we only ever did this in kindergarten first grade, when I was in kindergarten first grade. So between 2014 and 2016. Now, granted, I'm sure they had Wii's long before that, but between 2014 and 2016, they had Just Dance on the Wii. So as a result, sometimes in gym classes we would do the Just Dance.
Okay.
Yeah, my school actually used to have Wii's.
That's kind of crazy to think.
And I remember back when I was in kindergarten how my school used to have how some of the teachers had iPod Nanos too.
Yeah, for me, at my school when I was in kindergarten, if I recall, this was... Yeah, the iPhone 4 had just come out. And my teacher had bought it.
Wow. They were cool phones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah, a lot of teachers had bought iPhones at that point too. They were apparently that was when teachers were young enough to get hip with the new tech trends and such. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there are some teachers at my school that are still young enough to get the new tech trends, but at least in my area, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised to see how many iPhones in general were around my elementary school back in 2010.
There were some in mine too, back in the day.
Yeah, and again,
think
this is
there's
the
like
middle
a-
of nowhere.
4 or something. Yeah.
Whew.
We were out of topics, FYI.
I have one that I'd like to bring up because I still keep debating it.
What's up?
What
So I
is that?
mentioned in our group chat, in case you guys need context, I'm planning a big trip with a few friends to head down to the DC area. During that trip, I was looking around on Turo, and I found a 2024 Quicksilver with white interior Model 3 Highland. And the renter is offering free supercharging, free toll pass, which would be super convenient. There was another thing that unlimited miles as well. And it's only for $70 a day.
You should go for it.
I mean, the toll pass thing is actually kind of cool. The toll pass thing is actually kind of cool. The toll pass thing, I mean, that thing is actually be kind of handy because did you know that because I believe that, now I read this on Wikipedia, so I don't know how accurate this is, but the tolls on I-66 heading into the DC area once you get east of I-495 can be like $50 during peak traffic hours.
Gosh, that's expensive.
Now, granted, from where you are, you're probably not going to be coming on I-66.
Well, I know at some point, me and the other guys would like to go back to the ocean, or at least see it. Talon and I have only seen the ocean once, and so because of that, we don't know what highways we'll be taking to get there.
That's not going to, because I-66 only goes west of the out of DC to I-81. You're
Well,
not
there's
gonna be
other
taking
highways
I-66,
aside from
so we're
if I
probably-
recall,
we're
95
probably
is
gonna be
also a
doing
toll road, at least portions of it.
I-95 is only tolled once you get further north. Down south, I-95 is entire, except for some express lanes in Virginia and Florida, and I think Virginia, that are optional. I-95 is entirely a free highway in the south. Probably the best way to get to the ocean from Washington D.C. is if you take, mind you, most of these roads are divided. Is or this is entirely divided, is that if you take US 50 out east, then you can get to Ocean City, Maryland, which is like the closest way to get to the ocean. Or else if you want to go Virginia's coast, that's I-95 down I-64. That's probably the best
Dude,
way
I
to
am
do
so
it.
terrified for that city
You'll be doing it
traffic.
during peak travel time. Well, I mean, I know you mentioned how you don't want to drive your own car in the city because of that constant stop and go traffic. Which I mean,
Yeah,
I
the problem is getting up to
that.
speed. The problem is with my
granted,
car
you get
being
used to it
so
from-
efficiency focused, it really hates to downshift. It will take often 2 seconds for it to downshift before we finally start gaining speed. And traffic moves faster than that. I had this problem when I was out in Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand, and of course, the DC area is a lot bigger than Charlotte, so that would be an even bigger problem. But speaking of your trip to DC, I actually have thought about a possible way you could basically not have to pay any other tolls aside from Sault Ste. Marie, or no, the whatever bridge connects the two
Mackinac
peninsulas of
Bridge?
Michigan, Mackinac Bridge. So if you want to basically do what in the road community call a shun pike, what you can do is is basically go down to Detroit like you would normally, because US 23 again, you don't want to go that way because you want to stay in Detroit, and then take I-75 down and keep taking do not use the Ohio Turnpike. Keep taking I-75 down until you get to they're gonna post this on the exit signs. Get on Ohio 15, and then from there, like, it'll eventually the same roadway will eventually become US 23, and keep taking that to Columbus. From there, get on I-70 East and take I-70 East until it's concurrent with I-79, and once the concurrency ends with I-79, do not keep going 70 East, because then you'll wind up going on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, which is not known for good traffic. Keep taking 79 south down, and then go I-68 east, and then you'll wind up back and aside from the 40 miles per hour speed drop in Cumberland, you'll be good. And then you'll eventually wind up back on 70
If
east.
I
and you
had
can
to
take that
guess,
all the way down.
though, I know the other guys, Talon especially, he loves doing the turnpikes, and that's because you need a bathroom. Finding a service plaza is easy, and they have literally everything you need.
I mean, except when you're out facing the Appalachian regions for obvious reasons, then most of the time, like, again, now granted, I live in the Southeast, when basically every interstate exit has at least something.
Yeah, but well, I haven't driven. I've ridden on a bus on the turnpike twice technically, because you have to get there, then you got to get back. That, and we're also debating whether or not we want to stay a night on the way there, because it's a 16-hour drive non-stop. We're debating, do we stop midway or do we cannonball it?
If you cannonball it, then definitely take US 23 down from Flint down to Toledo. Like,
Oh,
don't
yeah, we
bother
know.
going
We're not going through Detroit.
because that's definitely, because US 23 can't. Then yeah, that.
Yeah, you typically want to try to avoid Detroit if at all possible.
I thought you wanted to stay with one of your relatives in Detroit, though.
It's a potential. I mean, he's on the western side of Detroit, first of all. It's closer to Ann Arbor, but it's still technically in the Detroit metro area, such like that.
So then you could
Yeah,
still bypass Detroit then.
So yeah, we're turning at the Flint exit and making our way through Ann Arbor and such. We're not dumb enough to drive down into Detroit. That's just a waste of time. But yeah, I mean, we kind of got our route basically picked out, and yes, we're most likely going to be taking the Ohio and Pennsylvania turnpikes.
Yeah, because my family lives in the southeast where there are so few toll roads. My dad is a lot more. My dad and I are, well, primarily because we're not used to, but also my dad is so lean. My dad hates toll
No, I
roads
understand
so
why.
much that when he was he hates toll roads because he thinks that government funding should just pay for roads anyways. And
I'm still confused about when I went through Illinois. I signed up for iPass, and supposedly it works in Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky. I don't know how. I don't know if it's just their tech they're using, but I didn't get billed for every single toll pass I went through. Like the Kentucky one, never got billed for it.
oh, I know that one. If you only go through it twice within a 30-day period, then you don't have to pay the toll. It's only after that
Oh,
you have
really?
to start paying.
So that's
Yeah.
so they set it up for passers coming through just on their way to somewhere. That's nice. Huh.
Yeah, it's only the local people that have to pay more, and even then, the local residents can just use like US 31 or I-64 in Louisville.
That's nice. So that's why it never rang up on my iPass.
Yeah.
Though, yeah, I also have to make sure that works on, like, the turnpikes. I think it would, because it claimed Indiana, Ohio, that the general places where it does. I know the most common toll pass thing they use is typically Easy Pass. I don't have that. I just have iPass. So I don't know if they accept that.
I don't have any toll passes
Yeah.
for obvious reasons, because I don't live in an area.
Well, it's like
Area
I've
of
only
toll
driven on
roads.
toll roads, like, on my way to North Carolina. That's the only time I drive toll roads. Well, okay, technically I have to pay the tolls at the Mackinac Bridge when I go to Petoskey, but, I mean, it's like $4 just to pass through. You can use cash to get through that toll. That's how I get through there.
Yeah, it would be handy for. It's annoying how there are some toll booths that don't take cash.
Yeah, that's basically any other toll place I visited. Like all the tolls through Illinois and Indiana and Kentucky, they're all cameras overhead that read your license plate. So
Yeah.
and then Easy Pass, I think, is a tag you put in your windshield.
Yeah, Easy Pass is acceptable everywhere in the United States.
So yeah. Anyway, we got the route picked out. The debate is renting the Model 3. Because I also the biggest thing that's allowing me to justify it is, dude, I get an amazing content piece out of this.
Yeah, that might be worth it then, but
And I could actually do proper testing with it because effectively, if I want to rent it for that long, I'd have a whole week instead of an hour or two, like at the dealership.
you might have to consider that. But I know you guys probably had a work picked out, but I just wanted to offer you guys a possible way to save money.
Oh, don't worry. We're all about. We know what we want to spend money on and what we don't. Oh yeah, if I had to guess, we're most likely taking the turnpikes. But
This is like your
so, yeah. Do I do the Model 3 or do I not?
Yeah, this is like your third time heading to the DC area since I've been subscribed to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm surprised about how frequently I'm visiting the nation's capital.
Yeah, I'm only going, or I actually do like on the, like I might be going to DC once I'm gonna be going. I might be going to DC sometime in the next year or so, depending. Or I actually know what it'll likely be for, but I'm not gonna say it for privacy reasons.
Yeah. Exciting.
Meanwhile, we get to all be. Meanwhile, there will be a couple weeks when there might be a week or so when it'll probably just be you and Tabby because I'll be busy eating croissants or whatever. Probably not just eating croissants, but
Well, you'll be in France.
Went well the other time that we tried that.
Say what?
If you remember, probably about a year ago. About a year ago, we did the show alone, I think. Right?
Oh yeah.
yeah. Well, I know you guys have tried it before, but it's not often.
Yeah, that went really well,
Yeah,
actually.
I'd say that was.
I like
that
that.
went pretty okay.
To be fair, that was before. In hindsight, that was before we started having hosts like show up late. But if I had known that, then I could have actually joined the episode later on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anything else to talk about?
Yeah,
We're out of topics.
Pretty much anything else that I want to talk about is. It really is mostly DC trip, but that's probably more conversations that Tabby and I should have in private.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you wanted to stay on
Yeah.
call for a little while and talk about
Yeah,
that.
I can stay on with you at least.
You want me to? Yeah, I guess I should probably go ahead and leave this because I obviously can't go on that DC trip.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we can end it right here.
All right. As always, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Magro from the iTunes Fanboy.
I'm Tabby Cat.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf from the Random Alpha.
And as always, we were saying goodbye for now, and we'll see you next time. So, as always, peace out.